And we do want to see members of the parliament, in our parliament, from this region, all right? And we see it in terms of members of the parliament that come from our Chinese and Indian communities, obviously come from our South Pacific communities, but that is the next step in my view, and I know that David Bennett will support that. When I was a member of the Parliament, for a while I was also chair of the Parliament's Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Committee. And also as a member of Parliament, I did at the time a private visit to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, because I had a friend who was doing a contract for the tax department about taxation. And I won't tell you the funny stories about my visit and my impressions. It was an amazing experience, obviously. And what Ethiopia is, of course, we all realise is an amazingly diverse community, the different languages, and a degree of a melting pot. But from New Zealand's point of view, David has talked about the trade opportunity, which is crucial. But obviously the other crucial thing for Ethiopia for us is it's the headquarters, the Organisation of African Unity. And this, as a small country, is a one-stop shop for us to make the connections with the sub-Saharan African, with the African continent. That's the other thing. So obviously we acknowledge, China and India, and it was mentioned about Turkey, are big, huge players now in that part of the world. As a very small nation, we have to be nimble and we have to be smart. And one of the reasons that we managed to have the enormous privilege of being a member of the Security Council, dare I say it, is because of the support, which we thank you for, that we have from a number of those African nations. And we knew that we had to be very much part of that scene that Ethiopia provides in terms of the diplomatic connections. And so I acknowledge, we're putting my old hat in that previous parliamentary role, that Ethiopia is a very, very important player, always has been historically in the African continent, and continues to be a very important player. So from a diplomatic point of view, we are very acutely conscious of that. And then obviously the opportunity, as David has said, and Ishmael has said, is for younger members particularly, of the broader Ethiopian community, from afar, from Somalia, from Djibouti, from all of those people of origin. Even if you might have been born in New Zealand, but you keep those connections alive. They are crucial, because that is the opportunity for trade and for commerce and for education exchanges and all of that. And certainly I support you on behalf of the Mayor in Hamilton, David, for anything you can do to open those doors. And you yourself were talking around about trade agreements and actually New Zealand focusing more and more attention on the African continent, and Ethiopia is a very crucial part of that for us as a small country. So without further ado, I'm also here to listen and learn, and also I want to, on behalf of Her Worship the Mayor, pay tribute again to the Afar community in particular, and all the work that you have done to be part and to give us an extra sense of richness and diversity. And as I said before, Madam Chair, I want to see you or one of your compatriots in David Bennett's place in years to come. That's my challenge.
What are we going to do, David Bennett, then?
Thank you, Mr. Martin. David, what's your bag?
Oh, no. I couldn't think of anyone better.
Kidding. Our next speaker will be Mohammed Khalif. I know you're fighting Mohammed Khalif.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you all. Also, I acknowledge the presence of can I start from the corner? City Councillor Michael Gallagher, City Councillor David Bennett, our local MP, our Ambassador Jemal from Canberra, and also our great friend and the father of the Somali community, I suppose, at Afar. So also I would like to acknowledge the presence of Jovi from City Council, Anwar Ghani from the Waikato Muslim Association. Also at the back, I can see that English language partner George Lell is at the back. Also, I can see that the Somali elders there. I can see Mr. Abdi Awad, the first Somalian here in Hamilton. Also, other Somalian, and also I can see their rock German. I can see they're sitting there. Also, Mustafa also there, Father Mustafa. So, also there's a guest from Wellington. I can see they are here. You can see, I can name Abdulaziz, and also
From Auckland, not Wellington.
from Auckland. So I welcome you all. There, also the Afro community, and particularly I'm favorite for Somali community. There are many here, more than Afar. See here, this is more Somalis here. Also, I was today watching the speech of Jemal today in Wintec, and I was proud of how Jemal was talking about the Ethiopian development, and also he mentioned particularly when we asked him a question, Jemal was proud of his Somali background, though he was an Ethiopian ambassador, but he was a Somali background. So he was proud of. Thank you for that, Jemal. I think I might forget some other people, so just forgive me if I forget, but I'm proud of to see you all here tonight, and we wish all of us to follow the steps that the Afar community leading when it comes like this kind of events. Especially, I would like to thank the organizer, Mr. Ali Ahmed Isa. I remember first time when Ali arrived here. Maybe he will talk later, but I will stop there. Thank you all. Have a nice night. Thank you.